Okay. So, by I I assume by you guys can tell by the title, I'm going to talk about the American Revolution War. Then, the reason why is because, not only in like couple weeks, it gonna be July for America 250 infantry, and our Army 251 in infantry. Um, but also the wise the American Revolution War I did. Um, it I I I didn't do my research enough, so this time I did my research a little more, and I may go skip a part or two that won't let but anyway I'm making this video to explain the American Revolution War then, but better way and more clear way, and try protein and with a little more research this time. But anyways, we'll get started. But before we need to talk, before the American Revolution War, the American Revolution, we need to talk about the French and Indies War, which was a war between the British Empire and the French Empire, um, and the 1750s until the 1760s. It lasted for 7 years. It was also called the 7 Years' War, according to my knowledge. And now, um, I actually don't 100% know what they were fighting about. I'm pretty sure they were fighting over Canada, and but then when the British they ended up winning and ended up taking over Canada, and the British won. But there was one problem with the British winning that war against the French. They got massive debt. So you would think like they'll find another like find a way to try to make more money, try to fill up that pretty much, I don't know, fill up that debt. I don't know what the word I'm digging here. But but they did find a way, but they were got the colonists, the same people that helped them colonize, America, the 13 colonies, and put heavy taxes on them, put taxes on like stamp, coffee, tea, um, newspaper. They put taxes on everything, and the colonists were not exactly happy about it, so they protest over it, and pretty much the whole protest were taxes without representations, and because that was the British state, they pretty much pulled up these taxes without what kind of permission, and and but anyways, in like 1770, the British sent like 2,000 to 4,000 soldiers. At I think the town is called Kingstown. Yeah, it's called Kingstown, and they were just patrolling the streets, and I don't 100% sure why, but I think that make sure that no one like rebel or something stupid like that, but or something that's stupid to them. But anyways, finally on March 5, 1770, it that kind of erupted into chaos, and people were fighting with the soldiers, like throwing stuff like snowballs at them, I guess, and I think like hating the soldiers, and finally the soldiers opened fire into the crowd, killing 5 people. And these 5 people were the colonists, of course, and that was called the Boston Massacre. And people they were not exactly happy about it. And 2 guys, I forgot that guy's name. Sorry. But one guy named was Samuel Adams, who was also colonist, which he was also later become a founding father. Um, he makes sure that we never forget about that. But anyways, 3 years later in 1773, I now this is kind of where the timeline get a little confusing here to me because I don't know the British make taxes higher, which I'm pretty sure they did, but anyways finally the colonists they dressed up as Indians, Native Americans, and went to the Boston Harbor where a lot of tea is at, and they spill all that tea into the Boston Harbor, and that was called the Boston Tea Party. But anyways, so it kind of make more tension between the colonists and the British. But finally, in April of 1775, the British with couple thousand soldiers, they marched into Massachusetts to crush the rebellion. And at first they pretty much did crush the rebellion, but we showed them that we won't go give up without a fight. And that battle was called the Battle of Lexington and Connerton. I don't know, Battle of Lexington. And so the American Revolutionary War officially started in April 1775. But they were fight, and since we finally get to the American Revolutionary War, we'll talk about the views on both sides. Either side, the American or the colonist side, were the colonists and farmers and stuff like that. And these farmers, they never had military experience. Most of them didn't even have a military experience whatsoever. And some of them didn't even have shoes on. So every single time they will walk on the ground without their shoes, sometimes their feet will bleed. So that was a big problem for our army because there are farmers that most of them were never in a military battle before, for one, and for two, and some of them don't have shoes on. And also our army was led by George Washington, a general that once served the British, for example, during the French and Indian War, and he did win a couple battles, but not much. So he did have a military experience, but not great military experience. And while while we are working on the British, they are the most powerful empire on earth, the biggest empire on earth. Hold like over 20% of the entire world range back then. And they had enough money to fight a battle or war or full-on war across the entire ocean. They had the most powerful navy on earth. So, and the leader or the king was King George III. And yeah, so we were pretty much screwed. But and the first couple battles, yeah, we were pretty much in trouble. But eventually on July 4th, 1776, the colonists got together with this guy in his 30s named Thomas Jefferson, and he was the Declaration of Independence, and with some of the founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson, or colonists like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, John Adams, James Madison, James Monroe. James Monroe, by the way, he did serve. I guess you can say he did serve in the American Revolutionary War. Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, Benjamin Franklin, I think I always say him, and over 50 people I guess so. I'm sorry. I know I'm trying to make this as more experience. Um, I'm trying to explain this better than my wife's video. So I'm sorry. Kind of making everyone confused. But anyways, anyway, anyways, all the colonists they signed the Declaration of Independence. So on July 4th, 1776, we became our own country. But there was a problem. The British they didn't recognize our independence, and they saw it as treason. And that was bad news for the colonists and the founding fathers because they knew if they lose this war, not only they won't have their country will never be free, but they will get hanged. So a that was a gamble for the founding fathers, but the crazy part is, on December 25, 1776, George Washington with his army and with James Monroe. James Monroe was holding the American flag, and George Washington, his army, and James Monroe crossed the Delaware River on Christmas of 1776, and the water it was around 0 degrees, so the soldiers were freezing. And the reason why they were doing this is because, well, to cross the Delaware River to do a surprise attack on the British, and that surprise attack it was successful, very successful, even though our soldiers were not the strongest and didn't have shoes on. Like when they were walking on the snow, their feet were bleeding, had frostbite and everything, but they still kept fighting and defeated the British, and no one died. None of our soldiers died during that battle. So that was a big turning point for us during the American Revolution War. And one thing is also so the British that we're not gonna give up without a fight. But anyways anyways after the sorry I paused the video for what I have to think for a couple seconds. But anyways after that Delaware River, which was a huge success for our part. George Washington, the founding fathers, the colonists, they knew they can't fight the British forever, and they need someone help. So in the year 1777, the French, George Washington got the French to help us, and here's the reason why the French help us: not because they like us, but because they hate the British, and remember the French was in a war with the British before, so they want to help us defeat the British. Now there's one problem. The French, they not go with money and soldiers on us and have us lose. They need proof that we can win, and we did. There was this battle between us and the British, and we won, and the French decided to give us money, the boats, and the soldiers to help us. But while we were waiting for the French to help us, or help to come on our way, our soldiers they were pretty much stuck, I guess you can say, during the winter of 1777, because they were in a field called Sally Ford or Sally Field. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Anyways, they were pretty much trapped in these cabins because they were so cold and they barely eat, and a lot of them died from diseases or starving or coldness. So George Washington and he encouraged our soldiers to get back up and remember what they're fighting for. And also I think allegedly, sorry, I haven't really looked much into this yet, but a person Daniel also trained our soldiers to become a new power machine. So when our soldiers walk out of, so when sprint roll around, the soldiers that went into those cabins will no longer like people that can't fight, but they will, when they came out those cabins, they can fight. They will fighting force now. So with help on the way from the front, a very powerful country back then, and with us being able to fight now, actually able to fight now, and with help from other countries in terms of money or military, we can fight the British and be able to finish this war and win this war. So finally, in the year of 1781, from the south, like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, the British still moving into Virginia to finish that. And we have been fighting with them for 6 years now. So the Americans and the British, they were both exhausted. But so the British, they attacked Virginia. Well, by the way, Virginia is the state where George Washington was born in. But then this from like New York, American and French troops went where the British were at, and also pretty much cut their supplies, and after really demolished them so much that the British pretty much surrendered. It was the final major battle during the American Revolution War. Now saying that even though they was technically the final battle, that doesn't mean they were still fighting there, but this was the final major battle of the American Revolution War. But then was finally September 1783, the British signed a treaty, the Paris Treaty, with the Americans, and recognized the United States of America as their own country. And the American Revolution War ended for when so the American Revolution War started in April 1775 and ended in September 1783. 8 long years, almost 9 years. But the Americans, even though they didn't have much soldiers, didn't have much money, didn't have manpower, much strength, and was trying to get the most powerful country on earth, they still was able to win. And also I want to say the the village where I was talking about where the soldiers were kind of robbing. Well, then I haven't done much research to that yet, so I don't know if a person then we did come and train our soldiers. I haven't 100% looked into that, so I'm sorry about that. But I do think it will, but you should probably do your own research on that. But it is true that our soldiers in the winter 1777 were in this village and were pretty much not trapped, but like stuck in these cabins because of how cold it was. And also I want to say people think that the French was the only country that helped us. No, Prussian and Germans, they also helped us. That's what I can't say. Because when we were fighting the British, not only there were French troops, there were also like German troops helping us. So, and not only that, there's this country called Morocco, and the first ever country to recognize us as an independent country. Now, I don't 100% know for sure they give us money or send soldiers or what, but I assume they did. But people think that France is the only country that help us. That's not true at all. More countries, like one thing, the Germans, the Prussians, they help us in terms of money and military. But anyways, that's it for this video. I will say I did a better job. I think I explained more truthful, if that makes sense, with more research, what you start saying. But anyways, you guys probably want to see this until July 3, July 4, July 5, while I record this on June 15. I'm just record this and go release it on like July 4 or something because, July 4 is the United States of America 250 anniversary and our Army 251 anniversary, so, yeah, so I think I'm going to upload this video on July 3, July 4, July 5, one of those days, most likely July 4, but anyways, to celebrate a little. But anyways, I didn't want to say this. I said this before in my Wild American Revolution War video, but we need to remember that our army, is the reason why we exist as a country today, and we are the most powerful country on earth. So we need to respect the soldiers that give us freedom and give their lives to us. And for example, the war in Iran, they give their lives to us to 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 stop evil from spreading. So we need to thank those soldiers that suffered the American Revolution War, World War II, World War I, American Civil War, the war in Iran, every single war in American history. We need to solve them or respect them because they pretty much gave their lives for us for our freedom, and so we can live in a freedom country and the most powerful country on earth. No other country is more powerful than us. Not even China, Russia, Japan, India, nothing. No country is more powerful than us. And also, during the American Revolution War, we also need to respect George Washington because he led our army during the American Revolution War during those cold nights, the brutal killings, the brutal kidnappings, and all that. Not only that, he's our first president, and he is the first and pretty much the only president that truly did love the United States of America. But obviously we still have a presidents that love this country, like Henry Reagan, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and kind of the one that's in office right now, kind of a little, but no president loved this country more than George Washington. But also, even though George Washington led our army during the American Revolution War, we also remember who led George Washington through that war and all those hard times, which was God. God, He created us, He created everything. God created everything we know, love, and everything that's good. And He sent His one and only Son to die for us on the cross. Jesus Christ, that's His Son. So who believe in Him shall not perish but have eternal life and spend eternity with Him. But so we need to thank God for creating us, dying for us, pretty much, having His Son die for us, created everything we know, love everything that's good, and created this country and everything we know, love, and everything that's good. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope this was a better video than the Wild American Revolution War video. And also, you guys probably always see the video maybe, but I'm thinking about doing the War of 1812 video. I don't know when that will come out. I can watch it before July, but I'm planning to make that video soon. So, but anyways, see you later. Thank you for all the subscribers, likes, views, blah blah blah. And yeah.